Hi everyone, welcome back. I have a few questions for you to help us review what we learned last time. And remember to whisper your answers. Here we go. What is the important word we talked about that starts with an A? Yes, alliteration. And what is alliteration? Alliteration is when we have a repeated beginning vowel sound? No, consonant sound. Does every word in the sentence have to start with the same sound? No, but the repetition does need to be noticeable. Can two words that have the same sound like snake and city be an alliteration even though they start with different letters? Yes, alliteration is all about sounds, not just letters. And I hope you enjoyed completing your alliteration practice page. I think it's really fun to come up with little alliterations. Why do you think authors would choose to use alliteration in their stories or in their poems and their writing? Why might they do that? Well, it makes it more interesting to read, doesn't it? And it's more entertaining because it gives it more of a rhythm and helps the reader to focus in on that part, on those words, because it draws attention to them. Now I have an alliteration poem to show you. I'll read it aloud and you can follow along. It says, whales, wild whales, wild whales whistle, wild whales whistle wonderfully. What do you notice about this poem? I notice that there is alliteration with the W sound, and I also notice that each line of the poem adds one more word to the line before it. This is called an alliteration pyramid poem, since it is in the shape of a pyramid. And there are special rules to follow when you are writing this kind of poem. There are specific parts of speech, remember, like adjectives, nouns, and so on, in certain places, and so this is different than the alliteration sentences that we've been writing so far. So let's take a look at this page that already has some words brainstormed that start with the letter F. Do you see how it tells you what type of word to put on the lines? It starts with a noun, then the next line adds an adjective before the noun, and so on. So let's take a look at the nouns and pick one. How about friend? So we put that on the first line. Then we add an adjective. So what word should we use to describe friend? How about funny? So we have funny friend. Then we need to look at the verbs. What would make sense with funny friend? How about funny friend flips? Actually, I'm looking back at the nouns and I think I want to change it to fish. I can picture a fish flipping, so I think I'll change it to funny fish flip. Yeah, I think I like that better. And then we need an adverb to describe how fish flip. How about funny fish flip fearlessly? And there we have an alliteration poem, a pyramid poem. You just have to be sure that you follow the order of the words as the page says, and think about what the poem is saying, because you do want to make sure it makes sense. But you can also make changes if you decide that you like something else better, just like we did. So when you take a look at it, make sure that it does make sense. You wouldn't want to write something like furry farm follows fairly, right? So make sure that even though if it's silly, like our fish poem, it makes sense. Okay, everybody, that's all I have for us today. But before you see our next video lesson, we are going to write one alliteration pyramid poem just like we did today on the front side of the page called Alliteration Pyramid Poem. And make sure you choose a letter that's different from one that we have used together or that you have used. And also you may want to avoid less common letters like Q and Z. Your teacher will assign this either as an online digital assignment or on paper, and then he or she will check over your work. Bye everyone, I'll see you next time.